Hello there, today I'm going to talk about Mirror Mirror, which is a film made in 2011 when there was a Snow White craze going on. Now when I'm doing this video, there's another Snow White craze with Disney's finally remaking their version of Snow White, the cartoon, into live action, with trailers that look absolutely disastrous. It just looks like the worst possible version of Snow White you could possibly get from the trailers. Like it's a film I'm now looking forward to just for the train wreck, just to see just how bad it is. You know, it looks very much like the Zemeckis Pinocchio, whereas like everything's misjudged and wrong. Like Disney have problems doing live action versions of these films. Like they don't understand the simplicity of what they've already made, and they have to try and extend it out, and it's like it's terrible. So Mirror Mirror came out, I think, after the Snow White film, so Snow White and Huntsman, the one with Kristen Stewart, which I thought was a bit boring. You know, it just felt like it was like visually there was some interesting things, but it didn't really do much for me, that one. This one, on the other hand, worked a lot better. It was directed by Tarsem Singh, who tends to do films where the visuals are amazing and the plots are not so good. Now, I did Immortals a few months ago as a film in one of my videos, and this film has the same flaws as Immortals. You know, the script could have been better. And this one, the dialogue especially, is very Americanized in a way that goes against the setting, which is like medieval Europe. But the visuals are really interesting and the casting's right. And so even, and they're trying to do this thing they used to do in the 30s films where they might set it in like merry old England for like Adventure Robin Hood, but the Americans actors, you know, they might suggest they're doing an English accent, but they're not really. They're doing an Americanized English accent, and you're meant to just play along with it. They'll try to do that. The accent's a bit more American in this. Like Armie Hammer, he of the cannibal fame, I suppose, or infamy, as the prince. And this film does a lot of stuff that people were scared of the new Disney film doing, but it does it knowingly, understands exactly what it's doing, and it has fun with it because it's not like cloying and annoying or anything. It actually feels like this is a different take on Snow White. It's not a Disney take on Snow White. It's another take on the myth of Snow White, and it's fine. It's not trying to lazily do the Disney version, but it is doing this kind of Americanized version, and it could have pulled it back. There's too many things that are said are too Americanized and too modern, and that's what pulls you out every so often from the film. It does feel like the script could have done another draft just to finesse. I think they were going by either they might become stiff and too European if we don't do this, which is I think what happened with the other Snow White from the period, where they were trying to do a bit more of that and it came across as stiff. So they said, we're not going to make actors talk in the wrong accent. They'll talk in the wrong accent just to give them life to characters. So you just have to accept that's the kind of what they're doing. And to me, once you get used to it, it wasn't a problem. It was just like, that's the style. It's telling you, we know this is a film. This is not, we're not trying to make this some artist European film, even though it visually looks like that. So I get used to that pretty quick, and it never bothered me. I was just like, it's an old-fashioned, old-style Hollywood type of movie. Fine. I'll go with it. And that's the weakest thing the film has. That's the worst thing the film has. But what it actually does have is, because they have that flaw, is it allows the actors to actually be normal, have some charisma, have some chemistry, and do their thing. Now, no one in this film has amazing chemistry with each other. Tarsem Singh is not a director of actors. But the actors do seem to like each other in this film. It's not like it's an amazing love story or amazing, I can't believe they're not in other films together type of thing. But they tend to seem to get on okay. There tend to be actors who seem to be exuding the idea of the characters like each other. Like, for instance, Snow White and the dwarves like each other in the film. There's no snobbery, there's no nothing. She comes into their lives, makes it better, gives them some morals. They help her as well develop a backbone in modern society in a way that's not like cloying and annoying. They even have a montage with the trainer how to fight dirty and things. So there's good character beats. Julia Roberts as the evil queen is fun. She's playing it as a person who's vain, arrogant, twisted. She's basically playing it as if she's in a 30s movie. You know, that kind of thing where they allowed the actors to have dialogue and be twisted and fun and enjoyably villainous. And she's having a ball just being this awful person. And she's obviously enjoying herself. And Nathan Lane is her assistant, Toadie. And he has a lot of fun playing this weakling character who has no backbone whatsoever. He'll go any side as long as they don't kill him. So they have actors who know what they're doing. They've got Armie Hammer as the prince who is arrogant and doesn't know where he should stand within the story. He's out for a great adventure, but he's not very good at it. And throughout the film, he gets debased a lot. But the thing is, it's not his film. By the end of the film, he learns, hey, I was actually a bit of a dick at the time, and I have to improve. And by the end of it, he improves. And it's the thing is, it's not his story, and it's done in a fun way. And it's not like all men are like this. It's much more like this character is rich and he needs to be taken down a peg because he's the opposite of Snow White, who understands, yes, she's rich, but she's not above people. He thinks he is, and he's taken down a peg. His problem's not that he's a guy. His problem is he thinks he's above everyone, and he's taken down. And that's his story. And it works. Hammer's fun and part. He's charming. And it's like, he gets what's coming to him. You know, and then eventually improves. As a character, he learns from his mistakes and moves on. And by the time you get to the finale, he's a brave character, the way the Prince Charming should be. So it works. I'm sure some people might get offended, but if you understand, it's not his story. Ultimately, he's just a supporting character, and they're having a bit of fun with him. They're having fun with the cliche of the Prince Charming character, without being mean about it. It's kind of the equivalent of what they did with Chris Pine and Dungeons and Dragons, where Michelle Rodriguez is the fighter and he's like the planner and a bit of a coward at times, but there's some decency to him and it's an enjoyable performance. It's that kind of characterization. A bit more arch towards being a buffoon in this one, but it's essentially still the same. He's essentially decent and he learns how to be decent. This big success is Snow White. Lily Collins plays Snow White, and she's the big success of the film. The film hangs in her, and she's, of the modern Snow White, she's easily the best one. Like, I never thought Kristen Stewart really fitted the Snow White character. I thought she looked uncomfortable. She's much more comfortable playing eccentric characters. But Lily Collins understands that this character's a pure character. That's all you have just having good pureness. That's all you have to do. And she does it without being stiff. Like, she just plays a character who's nice and decent and who wants to do the best for people, but who learns she's been shut away, her father has died, has disappeared, and everyone assumes he's dead. She's stuck with her stepmother who's evil and is trying to get rid of her. She escapes to find that people are starving under her, under the rule of her wicked stepmother. The queen sent her out to be killed. She manages to avoid being killed, and then meets the dwarfs and does the usual charming the dwarf thing, but has a decency you expect from Snow White and a sense of humour which helps deal with the dwarfs. The dwarfs are all American actors, but they're all once you get used to their American accents, they're all fun. They're basically like thieves. They were part of society and they were thrown out when the Queen came in, and because the Queen didn't like ugly people or deformed people, she just threw them out and they got together to survive. And you find out that they're not all innocent. One of them was a bartender who was a bit sneaky. There's another one who was a teacher and who loved teaching. He was appalled he was thrown out. So you have a variety of people. You have one whose main skill is eating, another one who's love struck, and they've all got their characters that are not the same as Disney characters, but they're identifiable. And once they interact with Snow White, it all works. They all like her. She likes them. She tries to make them better by, instead of thieving for themselves, they thieve for the people and give them the people the money back. Sort of like Robin Hood characters. They teach her how to fight and how to deal with swords and how to deal with how to be sneaky, how to use what's your disadvantage to your advantage, because they're short and they find illusions to fool people. So they find ways. They have these legs that can make them look taller, and they've learned how to jump and do things with them, which are inventive and very circus-like things. And they just basically teach her, like, yeah, you have a disadvantage, but you also have advantages, so use them. And how to be observant, how to be more observant, how to study her situation and find ways around it. So every time you get to the end, which has to fight, it's not like the usual cliche, I was great all along. It's like, no, she's learned how to fight. They taught her how to fight, and because she's observant but kind, she fights in a decent way. She can be a fun character, and it just works. It's how you do a Snow White who can fight. Because in the Disney version, she can't really fight. But this one she can, but it works in context, and they make it work for the story. And generally, when we've got her and the dwarves, it's always a fun time because she is basically the schoolma'am telling them off and telling them how to be better people. And they're unquestionably loyal to her because she's the one person who treats them decently and just treats them as people rather than freaks. So it's that kind of thing. It's a nice warm relationship, and you get a sense when the interaction that these actors seem to like each other. You know, that's the best part of the film is when they're together. It's like it's a thing you pretty much know Disney films are going to mess up just from watching those horrible CGI things. It's like the human interaction between Snow White and dwarfs is the most important part of the story. Eventually, yes, she has to defeat the evil queen. She has to be more proactive rather than being saved by the prince. But they do it out in a fun way where she messes up the queen's evil plan. The queen comes to face off against her. The queen has various other ways to face off against her. They defeat the different threats the queen offers against her. And eventually defeat the queen. And it just works because it's a gradual escalation, so you actually get a sense of Snow White learning how to defeat the queen, learn how the queen works. It starts off with a fun fight where the queen sends these giant marionette things to fight her, to attack her and the dwarfs, and she figures out that they're actually marionettes from another supernatural dimension. All she has to do is cut the connection between them and the queen. You know, things like that, just the logical thing of letting her figure stuff out makes the thing work. But also, the visualization is we're going to take this mythological creature and this mythological world and we're going to set it in a stage. We're not going to do reality at all. Everything's a set. You know it's a set from the start, and you get used to the fact that these are all massive sets, and that's what it is for the film, and you're used to that world. The same way, I mean, Bill Pressburger did this all the time. It's very old-fashioned filmmaking, but it works because it sets you in a world that's not to do reality, and so it means when they do the American accents, it's a fantasy world already, so nothing's real. But the visuals of the evil queen's like lair is wonderful because it's this lake with these wooden structures. You've got the castle's all wonderfully white, and to hide the royalty of the queen. Julia Roberts has all these great outfits. There seems to be an influence of Richard Lester on this film, just generally, like how it's designed and the absurd costumes and the switch between the well-off and the poor, and some of the ironic things, the poor say the well-off. There's a slight Richard Lester influence there, but there's also influence of 30s movies. This is a film made by people who love 30s Hollywood movies, and they're just making that type of film where the heroine can be pure, just like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, where all the other characters have more interesting things to do in the scenes, but the lead character accumulates by being decent and observing and figuring things out, and slowly her decency comes through. It's all very 30s stylization, but it all works. It's all like genuine. We're making this film. We love watching these films. And yeah, there might be some flaws along the way, but who cares? It's a genuine film. You will like it or you won't like it, but it's genuinely trying to do a certain type of film. and just when you watched it, I was like, I still enjoy this film. This film it's not as good as Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, but it's probably the best you're going to get from live action Snow White, because it's charming. And it's basically well meaning, and you've got a villain you can hate, and you've got the villain's fun, you've all these other side characters, and you've a good heroine. It just works. So I would definitely recommend Mirror Mirror for the family. This is probably the one you could shove on and show kids, and the adults would find watching it too. It's that kind of film. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.